socks. In my 3 o'clock, see a heat seeker. My man Mega Ran cranking beats from the speaker. I'm full operation.
Alright guys, we are back at it once again. This time we got ourselves Team Freelo facing against the Tilted Miners. We are going to be heading on into Tomb of the Spider Queen. First pick going on over to the side of Tilted Miners. So let's get in this here hizzy bo shizzy, because this is going to be a really good game. Hopefully it's going to be a really good game. So let's get on in there into the draft. So we're going to see, starting on off, see if this works this time. Try to advertise, baby. So we got Malfurion as the first ban.
Victory above all.
We got the Malfurion ban and the Maya ban. I like this, but I've seen this from another team. Basically, you take out, one support and you pick up the other support. The downside is, so even though the meta is kind of stale-ish, I feel like the current picks are interesting because there's a lot of choices on who you pick up. There's Garrosh, Diablo, Stukov, Malfurion, Maiev, Hanzo even. Like, who you prioritize is very telling of your team. So Team Freelo is telling us that they say that Stukov is the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. Probably not ever will be, but at the moment he's the best. So you take out Malf, take the Stukov, and make him have to take a subpar hero. The picks of Tilted Miners are going to be Hanzo and Junkrat. Hanzo and Junkrat is some nice picks. Now the downside is that you've essentially taken all the DPS. The upside is you've essentially taken some of the best DPS available, range DPS in the game. You have Junkrat, who can interrupt turn-ins very easily. You have Hanzo, who can interrupt turn-ins very easily. The Junkrat gets good wave clear. Hanzo, once level 4 hits, has pretty good wave clear. And this, however, will mean that Garrosh or Diablo can be picked up. And they'll be able to ban out the other choice against Tilted Miners. So if they pick up Garrosh, the one downside is that he runs at people. Junkrat can disengage Garrosh unless he pops the Indomitable. So they're going to pick up the Blaze and Genji first. I'm not sure how I feel about the Blaze and Genji being picked up first over a Diablo or a Garrosh. I guess what they're opting for here is that they don't ban out a tank on the side of Tilted Miners. Now, I'm not sure if that's the way to go, because if Tilted Miners bans out, let's say, Diablo, they get to pick up the Garrosh instead. And then you don't have Diablo. And you have to choose, quote unquote, a lesser tank, if you will. Now, if you do opt to ban someone else, this allows Team Freelo to pick up the other tank that you opt not to pick up, because it should be 100% a pickup of a tank the next turn around for Tilted Miners. And Johanna is going to be the ban here, because I kind of like the Johanna ban to a certain degree. The ban is targeting the fact that Genji has poor wave clear, which means that your 4-man needs someone else to pick up the wave clear. Gul'dan is an option here. Gul'dan is an option here because he can clear pretty well. you need someone who can clear well. You can also get, what do you call it? You can also get Jaina, who's also pretty solid as well. So they're opting to ban out Lucio. I kind of like this because Alex Raza doesn't really have a great place on this map, or her dragon doesn't really do nearly as much. The ban on Lucio targets one of the few healers, but they could also pick up Deckard Cain. I think they're going to hope like Deckard Cain is not chosen. But I think Deckard Cain is the pick 100% here. Otherwise, like Deckard Cain is able to heal a lot. So like if they can get the Deckard Cain, you know, that'll probably be enough sustain healing, hold them in the lanes. Especially with a Junkrat and Hanzo. They can generally play pretty safe. Because Genji isn't going to be picking up kills on Junkrat and Hanzo that quickly or easily. So they're going to pick up that Deckard, like I thought. But what's interesting is they still have yet to pick up their own tank. I'm assuming they're choosing this because, well, actually I don't know why they're choosing this Sonya in the Deckard. Deckard makes sense. But the Sonya you don't need to pick up because they already have Blaze in the solo lane. So I think you need to get your tank first, and so they're opting for the Diablo on Team Freelo. Technically either of these picks can be last. You can get your Deckard last. You can pick up Sonya and Garage or Sonya and Diablo, or you can pick up the Deckard and your tank. But you should 100% pick up a tank here, in my opinion, unless they don't want Diablo. They're not going to pick Garage because Junkrat will disengage. And if Junkrat disengages, you get a useless Garage. So that could be the thinking of Tilted Miners, that they don't expect Garage to be picked up, and thus they will pick up Garage at the end. But so in reality, it doesn't matter who they picked up here. This is really weird to me. I actually feel like this makes sense and it doesn't make sense. The reason it makes sense is because they're not trying to dive anyone. But at the same time, Garage doesn't really do much for their team. If you look at it from the current setup, they throw someone back, although Deckard can root him in place, Sonya spear him, so forth, and should be able to get kills. So I'm not sure I still 100% like the Tyrael. They'll be able to protect him from the corruption damage, D-Blade if they choose for D-Blade, so forth and so on, and the APOC. And the Gul'dan is the final pickup there. So the draft does wind up looking sort of like what I was expecting. The Deckard Cain after Lucio banned out, 100%. The Gul'dan as their wave clear. Although there is definitely the possibility for Jaina as well. I like Jaina just as much. The difference though is that Gul'dan has better chunking ability from his Echo Corruption, the sustained damage of it, onto Tyrael and Sonya. But Jaina can blow up anyone with Icy Veins comes level 13. And the thing is, Echo Corruption takes a while to go online as well. So Jaina has a better early game. She has just as good, obviously, late game. And she technically combos better with the Diablo. With the stun from Blaze, the stun from Diablo, the silence into the, all of that seems much better. So let's jump on into this here game. Let's introduce our two teams, except I have fixed the in-game UI real fast. We got a Giant Richard Gere. Giant Richard Gere is here, boys and girls. Fixing the UI because we need that production value. We're doing it live. Gonna have enough time to fix that. All right, Giant Richard Gere is gone. So let's get on back in here. So we got Aiko on the Hanzo. We got Jace on the Tyrael. I just fizzed on the Sonya. Ructil on the Decker Kane. Rolf on the Junkrat. And that is going to be Tilted Miners. On the other side, we got Hollis on the Diablo. Blackout on the Gul'dan. Richard Gere, the namesake of the team, or the logo of the team, on the Stukov. And finally, on the backside, we got Tithel as the Blaze coming on in on I Just Fizz. And Skigum on that Genji, helping to secure an early game kill. Nice gank from Team Freelo. So, early game kill, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. We got Decker Kane down here right now, not who you want to soak the lane until Sonya gets back, because your team now has literally no healing. So we are going to see the Echoed Corruption. We're going to see the War Paint. We got to put some English on it. Skigan coming on in onto Aiko. Aiko will be able to get on out though. We got the target practice so he can poke from range for free. We will get the field study and Justice for All. Additionally, we're going to see Devil's Due, Agile Dismount, Adrenaline Stimpack, Echo Corruption, and finally Growing Infestation. So I'm expecting potentially never outmatched still, so you can spam arrows more often. You don't necessarily need the simple geometry. Skigum going on in with that Agile Dismount, and our Wolf, or Rolf, will take a lot of damage there. Backing on now. Echo Corruption now up to 8 stacks, 2 minutes on it. In the bot lane, let's take a quick look there. Looks pretty even for the most part. Nothing out of the ordinary. So, we're definitely actually seeing better rotations. Skigum being very aggressive. Going to get even more stacks. Now 12 stacks over there. In the top lane, Jace 1v1ing. Hollis come at him, bro. And he's going to back on out for now. Now, Blackout is just able to chew through these waves pretty easily. I mean, Gul'dan definitely still super valuable. There's some more stacks. We're now up to roughly 16. That's pretty good at this point in the game. He's almost halfway done with his quest. And that's pretty brutal if he can complete this early. There's another 3. And we got Skigum actually going to be dropping from this game for whatever reason. Skigum bot back in it. There we go. He's back in this here. Hizzy fo shizzy. Top lane's pushed in. About the same gems overall. It's 42 to 36. Not too big a difference. This is pretty much back and forth. Nothing really crazy happening here. Level 4s. We got From the Shadows. Shuriken Mastery coming on out. Adhesive Petroleum. Improved Lifetop. Skigum going on real deep there. Taking quite a bit of damage. We'll be able to E on out though. We have the One Good Spread. Other side, Battle Rage. Haste for Explosions. Explosive Arrows. Hall is getting knocked way back, but still has his Q up. Coming on in for Aiko, and Aiko will be going on down. This is almost like a counter alley-oop for Hollis. Like, send him on in. So, turn in being completed almost. For the side, we should have that turn in done very shortly. We just need, bot lane to turn in, and that'll be it for Team Freelo. Another knockback, not going to matter, however. And still, generally back and forth. So, going through the rest, we have on the other side, Haste for Explosion, Explosive Arrows, the Potion of Shielding, and finally, Stalwart Angel. Blue, aka Team Freelo, has gotten it, and there's the gank coming on in onto I Just Fizz, but then Skigum has taken a lot of damage. The corruption damage on point, and we are now sitting at 31 of 40 stacks. Blackout is a Gul'dan god here. I mean, at this point, he's about to finish this up before they even get heroics. So we got for 7s the Soul Shield, the Cyber Shield coming on out. The Incinerator Gauntlets, Curse of Exhaustion, which is going to really put a hamper in on their movement since it's really big. Finally, within my reach, other side, we got the Poison Spear. The big ass traps is what? big ass steel traps instead of tricky shuffles. Interesting choice. And finally, we're going to get the Dragon Hungers, the Q Mastery, and Swift Retribution. So we also picked up Q Mastery without any of the gems so far. What's also interesting, overpowered onto Jace. Jace has nowhere to go. The body blocks. Skigum coming on in with that E. And that's going to be a lot of gems dropped and picked up by that Hanzo now. The front wall down. Mid wall is almost completely down. And bot wall, a little bit of work done. Just a touch. They're going to get another tower. They're going to be on their way to level 10s. And looking pretty good for Team Freelo. So it's interesting he didn't pick up Never Outmatch, which means he has less ability to actually poke and interrupt. This is a much safer build. Echo Corruption completed. This is going to be hella scary now. And nothing else really to point out there. Breaking Mastery about halfway done now as well, so he has that increased damage. Oh, the jump on in for Aeko. Tithel going to be walking on out of here for free. The rotation from Hilton Miner is not really on point. They're not trapped between a rock and a hard place, depending on how they want to fight this. Because Tithel can come on in, but this is not when they really want to fight. They want to hit 10s before they commit. On the other side, there's a lot of gems to lose as well if they lose this fight. So it's a bit of a iffy situation for both sides. Team Freelo doesn't want to lose their gems and wants to fight with 10s. Tilted Miners don't want to lose their gems, but they want to fight before 10 hits because they don't want to just give away back-to-back turn-ins, which is exactly what's happening. So we have, up there, as you can see, APOC, Dragon Blade, the Bunker, the Horrify, and finally Massive Shove. Turn-in not completed. They should have enough here, and they're almost enough. Sorry, caster math. They're at 49 if they so choose. Knockback onto Tithel, has nowhere to go. Going to jet propulsion on out of there. Richard Gere going in for that shove. Not going to get it, but it's not going to matter because they're going to walk away. Skigum coming back over the top with his cyber agility. Jace looking to get on into the thick of things. Nope. He said, decide not to. Forget it, guys. Just a joke. Just joshing you. So, ends around the corner. That is going to be enough now at this point. Get the turn-in, 53. We're going to get the turn-in from Tithel at this point. No interrupts are going to be possible. And back-to-back. Skigum in there once again, getting his shurikens on. He has 58 of 75 as well. Getting the extra damage. We'll see if he opts for, more shuriken talents on top of that. So, this is well done by Team Freelo. Right now, it's kind of easy mode, to be honest. They're just like scanning around, doing everything right. Nothing out of the ordinary, no real bad plays. There's the corruption. We got the combo. Aeko. There's the D-Blade. Blackout being annihilated. Ruktal coming in with that save. But Hanzo is still down. They have been knocked to another planet. Hollis and Skigum. And Hollis is not out of this quite yet. Jace is getting obliterated, though. Hollis is going to come down from the material. Nope, not even needed. So a 2-for-2 situation. And still, it's pretty much a winning trade, in my opinion, for Team Freelo. So the reason this is a winning trade is that Team Freelo gets the push on during that situation. They get the top, bottom's been pushed in, they get the bottom, mid is, all the towers are down, the well's down, and now they're just going to be looking. Oh, Skigum going on in. Bomb has been bursted on the mine a little bit too early. Not going to matter. They're not going to chase anymore. So, a nice engagement from Hollis. Blackout, however, got blown up there. And I want to point out something that's really interesting. We have Judgment, which was chosen, and that's how they helped blow up Blackout, the leap, and Judgment. Oh, no overpower from Hollis. Come on. It's just Decker Kane, just an old man with the pimp cane. So, I feel like they needed the sanctification there. If they had the sanctification instead of the judgment, I think they would have done better in that team fight. So 13-12, pretty much no structure damage on the side of Team Freelo. Very minimal. So now they need to collect the gems to get themselves another advantage. Be able to really... Oh, they actually judgment on in. The Dragon's Arrow is going to hit, but it's not going to hit who they want. Tithel caught on in there. He's going to be walking away. A lot of heroic choose. The leap, though. The leap onto Blackout. Blackout uses the hard fight, but it will not be good enough. The stun. Double stuns. Jace has nowhere to go. He will be on out of here. And that will be a 1-for-1. So that was a very strange engagement. 13 versus 12 situation. We have Devastating Charge, the Shinigami, and Shingun, the Fuel Leak, Healthstone, and finally Virulent Reaction on their side. The Mystical Spear, the Ripper Air, No Choice for Hanzo, Super Healing Potion, and finally Holy Ground. So it was interesting that they got in there so aggressively. Unfortunately, Tithel and Hollis hit two different people. The stun from Tithel didn't actually connect, I believe, on the same target. So Hollis' target goes down, but Tithel's does not. In the meantime, they're going to go pick up their camp, and they don't have enough for a turn-in, but they also need to play, goaltend this a bit, because they can be turned on against from top or bot. The advantage is they have, all these waves pushed on in, so they really have some, good vision and ability to know exactly where the enemy team is. Something that a lot of people critically mistake, like Junkrat there, not respecting Skigum. That's something that they, sometimes make a mistake on. But no, really, a lot of teams will make a mistake of not pushing in the wave to get the vision. And vision will allow you to make smart rotations, and rotations are what this game is about. Like macro play is ultra important. So now they can get themselves the mid. They have Blackout with that corruption, which melts through structures. And so as soon as he tosses it out, he's going to do a boatload of damage. And there they go. They get the mid fort. They're almost there. They still have enough gems for their first turn-in on the side of Tilted Miners, but they're not going to be able to do it for quite long. It's almost 16 versus 14. They need to get in there, get themselves a pickup. Skigum is actually going to try and delay. There's a little delay and the Eon out for the safety. There's a rotation. They're now looking for the team fight, it looks like. They should actually hit 16. There's the judgment, the leap, the Dragon's Arrow. Say goodbye to Blackout. And that Horrify has actually saved him. He makes it to the bunker. Slicing and dicing is Skigum. 1, 2, 3. And can they get the fourth? There is a looking like the fourth. And they lose all their gems. Let's look at that once again. All right. So we're going to see the turn-in attempted. This turn-in is not going to be successful. The Echo Corruption comes out. The Arrow, the Leap, they all come out. But the problem is they don't time it correctly. They use them too close together. The silence from Richard Gere is absolutely insane. Slicing through Skigum, and he is doing some God's work right there. So let's jump on back into this game because we're not done yet. But this game is looking like it might be done. Get the boss pickup in the meantime. And they also have the turn-in as well. So they get the boss, they get the turn-in, and they can march on in, for the top keep. There goes Skigum trying to harass some more. Let's take a look at the 16th. We got the Domination. We got the Steady Blade coming on in, which is interesting. We got the Thermal Protection. We got the Ruinous Affliction, and finally Super Strain. That's a lot of damage. There's a stun, and do we get another one? No. Silence, though. The silence is doing so much. The Horrify back. Jace has nowhere to go, and he except to his own grave. Ooh, stay a while and listen. Getting minimal value there, as it will not be enough to save him. Oh, the leap has to be burned to escape from Hollis, the 4-man route, and this keep is going to be going on down as they have a lot of pressure here with the Web Weaver. Blackout needs to be careful, however. It is only TRL down. Hollis going on in. There's the stun. Slicing and dicing. The dragon is awake, and they get themselves 1, 2, and that's going to be a game. as they just clear house. Team Freelo making this game look pretty free indeed. Core will be melted on down because Gul'dan is a god. There comes the judgment, but the bunker just instantly canceling it out, and they are going to just be able to run around like chickens without their heads as they ensure this game goes in their favor. Very nicely done by Team Freelo. So let's prep up some of those tasty highlights in that game. All right, so we'll be getting into game number 2 in a brief second, but in the meantime, let's take a look at some of those stats. Hanzo and Junkrat getting a ton of damage, but like the healing, not even the same league. 44k, 78k. When they drop that burst, Decker Kane had nothing he can do, especially with Stay a While and Listen, because if he gets caught in the stun, can't do anything. So Lure NATO, it would have been the pick in my opinion over, Stay a While and Listen, especially because they weren't able to bust out the Stay a While and Listen before Hollis, forced the engagement. So game number 2 on the way. Like I said, replays coming on up.